Hi guys, and welcome back to another Gab's cryptocurrency video where we trade by data and not by hype. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out daily technical analysis like this. And before we start this video, I'm also giving a free Ethereum giveaway. So if you want to receive a free Ethereum, you just have to join and follow some of these criterias. I will be drawing the winner this July 30. So kung di pa kayo nakasali guys, sali lang kayo. So yeah, let's start with this video. So as you all know guys, we have been following this falling channel. Actually, itong bullish divergence. So previously, I believe na pinost natin tong video. Tingnan nyo to guys. This was around June 16, 2021. So, ang layo na inabutan natin from this falling channel and then this bullish divergence. So, as you know, matagal na natin to fina-follow itong RSI resistance and we have been getting off from this strong resistance ever since January. So we were actually getting rejected there multiple times. And sabi ko sa inyo kahapon, we are actually trying to break out. And I believe today, I believe na we are actually confirming this breakout to the upside. So that's for the RSI resistance. So right now we are going up. And yeah, we need to look out for this next movement kasi if you're going to look at this, we are now actually starting to get some volume. So you would see na mas mataas yung volume ngayon ng buy as compared dun sa sell. So we are now getting that buy volume. Although hindi siya enough para masustain pa, pero that's fine kasi we are about to enter this next resistance. So first nga, 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo, ang kailangan niya muna ma-break is the RSI resistance. And then after ng RSI resistance is this falling channel. So itong falling channel, kailangan niya ma-break itong line. And right now, we are breaking out of it. So ayan o, nagbe-breakout siya ngayon. Now, ang next na kailangan mangyari is ma-break niya yung 50-day moving average. So 50-day moving average will be a very crucial area to watch out for. Kasi right now, this is going to be a major resistance since we have never, since the last time na nandun tayo, we were actually rejected by this 50-day moving average. So right now, we must break this 50-day moving average in order to flip bullish na for Bitcoin. Kasi kung na-break natin yan, it will more likely tuloy-tuloy na yan up to the golden cross. So a golden cross would indicate na yun na yung time for a trend reversal and the start of a bull market. So ngayon, since we are at this area na, so let's look at this closely. You are actually going to see na we are actually breaking out from this downtrend. And from this downtrend, kailangan niya ngayon mag-close above this within the day. Kasi kung hindi siya nag-close dito within the day, pwede pa siya mag-throw back to the downside kung mamaya, let's say, bumagsak pa siya bigla. Pero right now, we need to sustain this movement. Now, let's look at the Bitcoin short term. So, alam natin na nagbe-breakout na. This is of course a big point for the bulls kasi of course we are getting bullish na for the Bitcoin price. Now, let's look at the short term. So, for the short term naman, ang fina-follow natin dito previously was this rising channel. So, this was a very tradable pattern kasi of course pwede mo siyang i-trade. Mag-swing trade ka dyan at the bottom and then sell ka at the top. And we actually broke down. So, traditionally, ang technical target niya talaga is by getting this channel height and then ilalagay natin siya sa point of breakout. And then, ito yung actually pretty interesting dito sa movement na to. Kasi, no isang araw, meron din tayo dito, di ba? Symmetric triangle. So, may symmetric triangle. And then, nung symmetric triangle na yan, nag-break siya to the downside. Ito, oh. Nag-break to the downside. So, nag-breakout siya, bumagsak siya. However, hindi tayo umabot sa pinaka-lowest. Nagkaroon bigla ng buy volume. Now, ito na yung next movement natin. Nag-try tayo mag-breakdown ulit. Tinry niya ulit mag-breakdown. Pero nung nag-breakdown, nagkaroon ulit ng buy volume. So, this means na we are actually starting to get more buy volumes in this vicinity. So we are starting to get actually bullish in our movement kasi we are actually getting a lot of multiple times na nagkakaroon na biglang pagtaas. So I think Bitcoin is now starting to be healthy in the coming days kasi nagkakaroon na tayo ng buy pressure unlike dati na puro sell pressure tayo. 'Di ba yung previous action natin which is noong this one, nagkaroon tayo ng double bottom pattern. So ito double bottom Though nag-break siya, hindi natin na-complete yung target kasi malakas yung sell pressure natin. And of course, ay nag-flip siya to the downside. And then we are getting this multiple downtrends na nagsasabi na we are actually entering into a bearish move. Pero right now, yun nga, puro nagkakaroon ng bullish movement tayo dito kay Bitcoin. So right now, I believe na sobrang healthy natin ngayon kay Bitcoin. And then now what's next for Bitcoin? So now we know yung kanyang short-term price action as well as yung kanyang long-term action na nangyari na. Let's look at this next movement. So right now, for the Bitcoin price, in the hourly, we are very overbought na. Hindi naman very overbought, siguro overbought lang kasi if you're going to look at this is around 77, around 7 points higher than the usual RSI overbought level. So this is generally a time to sell kasi of course, when we are above the 70 relative strength index, this would mean na this is a time for selling. Pero ito yung kagandahan dito eh. Dito sa ating uptrend, though increasing yung price natin, wala tayong divergence na nagpo-form dito kay hourly. Pero however, sa 15-minute time frame, doon natin makikita yung kanyang divergence. So, let's look at this bearish divergence sa nagpo-form sa chart na to. So, increasing price and then declining RSI. So, of course, that would mean a trend reversal to the downside. So, for the very short term, this would be a trend reversal to the downside. So, if you're going to look at the 20 moving average, we are getting actually these bounces in the 15-minute time frame. And ayun na, meron tayong nagpo-form na rising channel din ulit. So pretty similar to what we have seen in this previous action. Ang difference lang is this is on a smaller time frame. So if you are going to follow this movement, itong chart na to, let's see kung may bar pattern. So let's try to follow this bar pattern. And then, if follow natin tong movement na to. So kung ilalagay natin siya dito sa movement na yan, and then let's say ito is na-replicate natin yung kanyang price action. This could say na we could actually go down up to the 33.5k level, and kung i-replicate natin yung previous action na yun. So that would mean na Bitcoin price would more likely go at this area and then pump up until the 34.1k area if isusundan natin yung previous action. So now, since this is the level that we are now actually seeing, this can actually go down and actually retest the 20 moving average. But yeah, we have to wait for this movement pa in order to confirm kung ano yung next move niya if nagkaroon siya ng breakout. And of course, kailangan palagi ng volume. Though we are now actually trying to get a bearish movement dito, we are not actually seeing any sell volume as compared to other movements. So ngayon, wala pa tayo ngayon na bearish action. So yeah, now let's go back dito sa ating bigger time frame. So for the bigger time frame, what's next for Bitcoin is actually this 50-day moving average. So for the 50-day moving average, Bitcoin must now either sustain or hold this line, itong area. Kasi kung hindi natin na-sustain yan, we might actually go back to this RSI resistance, which will now act as a support. So despite na healthy ang ating movement dito, we need to sustain this level in order to continue our pump to the upside. So, since ito yung action natin ngayon, ano ba yung next dito? Ano pa ba yung nakikita natin dito? So, other than that, if you are going to look at the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, tingnan nyo to guys. Ito yung actually logarithmic growth curve. Matagal na nating sinasabi is pag the more na dinedelay natin yung bull run, the more na tumataas ang ating market cycle top. So, ayun na tumaas yung market cycle top natin. Ang foreseeable ngayon is 136k. And then right now, we actually got this strong bounce from this 2316 Fibonacci deviation level. So right now we are actually getting that bounce. So we are actually trying to retest the next area which is around 39k. So right now nasa 29k ang kanyang lowest point for this Fibonacci level. 39k ang next level. So if this will continue to the upside, of course the next level to watch out for in here is the 39k. Pero after natin ma-break itong level na yan. So now, let's look at the weekly time frame naman kasi I believe this next chart will be very interesting. Kasi if you're going to look at this weekly time frame, so this weekly time frame is showing us this healthy, very healthy movement for the Bitcoin price. So look at this, guys. So, 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo, in the previous bull market, never tayo nakakita ng candle close below this red line. So, in order to remain bullish for Bitcoin, we must stay above this red line. And look at this, guys. We are actually getting this strong support at the red line. So, kaya tayo nakita ng bounce. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na within the week, it's either this should hold or somehow makakuha man lang ng bounce. And right now, we are getting this bounce somehow dito kay Bitcoin price. And yeah, as what we have been waiting for, this is of course on track for Bitcoin. And yeah, gusto ko rin mag-thank you kay Ella to Steven. Thanks for the donation. I really appreciate it. And shoutout sa'yo. So guys, if you want to drop your donations, you can actually drop some donations at the dollar sign down below. So if you want to drop your donations, pwede just click that button lang. Pero yeah, this must now get a bounce somehow at this area. And then after that, of course, Bitcoin must also sustain this 20 moving average. Kasi kung di natin sustain yan, this would more likely go down to the 50 moving average sa 15-minute time frame. Pero if you're going to look at this in the hourly, malayo-layo pa tayo dito sa ating green line. So kailangan ngayon natin either mag-catch up or somehow get ang consolidation dito para maka-catch up dito sa green line na yan. So this 20 moving average will be a key target area. So ayun, and then tingnan natin yung mga comments. Skill token. Tingnan natin. TA po sa Coin98. Actually, si Coin98 since kaka-release lang, we are lacking data for Coin98. So, hindi natin madadaanan yan masyado. Shoutout Mariel Valentin. Shoutout Syntax Error. Any opinions on the crypto prophecies? Not really. Hindi ko pa siya nakikita. So, hindi po ba rising wedge yung nagpo-form sa 15-minute time frame o channel lang? I think that's a channel kasi if titingnan mo siya, this is actually rising channel kasi equal yung kanya movement eh. So I don't think na that's rising wedge. So yeah, now let's move on to other coins naman. Let's look at Cardano kasi I believe in Cardano, we are actually getting a lot of stable movement for Cardano. Kasi if you're going to look at this for the very long term, ang ganda ng ating bounce dito sa ating $1 area. So if you're going to look at this, we are actually very stable kung tutuusin kay Cardano. So for Cardano, I believe na ito yung pinakamagandang i-stake ngayon and i-hodl kasi ang ganda ng kanyang price action, no? Despite Bitcoin going down multiple times, kahit ilang beses na tayo bumagsak kay Bitcoin, kahit nagkaroon tayo ng matinding correction kay Bitcoin, Cardano is still holding its line regardless kung ano man yung mangyari sa crypto space. So this would mean na this is actually a good foundation for Cardano and this is actually a good coin to follow and hodl. Pero let's look at the early time frame and the shorter time frame. So previously, sa previous video, pinakita ko sa inyo na meron tayong rising wedge. So ayun yung rising wedge and we broke down and hit the target exactly as predicted. So congrats kung nakita nyo to sa video kahapon. And yeah, I personally traded this. So kung nakuha nyo to, congrats sa inyo guys. And then yeah, for the next price action of Cardano, of course, this will be dependent on the price action of Bitcoin. And then yeah, so far, I believe 20 moving average will be the key target, as well as the 50 and 100. So for the Cardano price action, this will more likely go down to this 20 moving average area, and then as well as itong yellow line, which is the 50 moving average. So yeah, I believe Cardano is going to flip bullish na kasi tingnan nyo to guys, we are above the 200 moving average dito kay Cardano. And generally, when we are above the 200 moving average, that would be a good sign na we are actually trying to be bullish. So right now, this is good pa as far as we know. Now for Ethereum naman, let's look at Ethereum. Kay Ethereum actually meron din tayong rising channel. So this is a rising channel, and then nung rising channel kahapon, nag actually nag-breakout siya somehow dito sa ating level, pero we did not get a massive buy volume. Instead, we got some sell volume. Nagkaroon tayo ng sell volume to the downside, and then umakat si Bitcoin. So, nung umakat si Bitcoin, of course, nadamay si Ethereum. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys na dependent lahat palagi kay Bitcoin. So, ang next action dito kay Ethereum would more likely follow the 20 moving average din. So, it will more likely get some retracement dito. But yeah, we are actually starting to see this increasing price action and then declining RSI. So this would mean na this would somehow get some trend reversal man lang kahit dito man lang sa 20 moving average or sa 50. So I believe na this would actually get some rejection muna and somehow pahinga muna yung price action. So actually sinabi natin kanina 'di ba na this would more likely go down. Ay nagpe-play out na siya actually ngayon. So ayun, I believe na next target to watch out for right now is 33.5k. And ayun nga, if we are going to follow nga itong bar pattern, which is yung pinakita ko kanina, balikan natin yung bar pattern tapos iwan natin. Tingnan lang natin yung magiging result niya. So this is the bar pattern. So ito yung bar pattern. Ilagay natin siya dito sa price action ni Bitcoin. So ito yung bar pattern. And then let's say mag-drop siya, which is ayun na nga, to drop. So if you're going to follow this bar pattern, parehong-pareho yung kanyang price action dito. So let's see kung magpe-play out siya na bumagsak talaga siya dun sa area na yon and then somehow get that bounce. Now, let's look at SLP naman kasi I believe marami sa inyo interested dito sa topic na SLP and Axie Infinity token. So, for SLP, as what I've been telling you, SLP is dependent pa din on the price of Ethereum as well as on the price of Bitcoin. So, as long as Ethereum and Bitcoin is healthy, SLP will pump. So, ang nangyari kasi kay Ethereum, nagkaroon tayo ng bearish movement. So, nagkaroon tayo ng dump. That's why we saw this dump for SLP. Nagkakaroon tayo ng dump and then, yun nga, nagkaroon tayo ng somehow consolidation, nagpump si Bitcoin, pero yun nga, hindi, hindi sustainable yung movement ngayon ni Ethereum sa ni Bitcoin for this bigger time frame. However, isa din sa reason na bakit bumabagsak si SLP ngayon is dahil sa itong strong Fibonacci level na to, which is the 34 cents area. So, ayan no. Meron tayong Fibonacci level dyan, Fibonacci resistance, and then Fibonacci support. So, I believe na this would more likely get some bounce dito sa area na yan, which is around 28 cents and 34 cents, which is actually good naman for SLP. So, if let's say gusto mo talaga mag Axie Infinity ngayon and then you want to receive your rewards, it's actually one of the best time today na makakuha ng rewards and then i-hodl nyo lang muna. So, kasi as long as Bitcoin is going up and andun tayo sa kanyang upward trend kay Bitcoin, I believe na magiging healthy ang ating movement for Bitcoin in the long term. So, kung healthy si Bitcoin, of course, tataas si SLP. And of course, this will be healthy for SLP in general. So, ayun guys, SLP will more likely consolidate within the 28 cents up to the 34 cents in the following days. Pero if na-break natin itong 34 cents, if na-break natin si 34 cents, of course, ang next target doon is around the 37 cents area, which is the previous resistance. So, yun yung kailangan nyo i-watch out na level up next if nag-break itong 34 cents. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa niya nabe-break. So, if meron kang SLP, I would hodl it lang. Hindi ko siya isa-sell muna. Nung best time mag-sell is nung previously before. Pero ngayon, I don't think na it's a good time to sell. I don't think it's a good time to sell bot. It's a good time to hodl for me for SLP. For Axie Infinity naman, as previously mentioned, of course, this is dependent on Bitcoin. Kasi meron tayong Axie Infinity to Bitcoin pairing. So, ang verdict natin dito, as long as Bitcoin is pumping and consolidating, which is ito. So, as long as Bitcoin is pumping, consolidate, as long as nangyayari kay Bitcoin, Axie Infinity of course will go up. And look at this, nangyari ngayong ganong movement. So, during this period, itong area na to kung kailan nag-pump si Bitcoin and nag-consolidate, ganun yung nangyari kay Axie Infinity. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na regardless kung ano yung platform mo, as long as Bitcoin is healthy, and their coin pairing against Bitcoin is moving healthy. So, ito yung coin pairing niya ni Axie Infinity to Bitcoin. So, as long as healthy yan, I believe Axie Infinity will go up pa din. Pero yun nga, if bearish si Bitcoin, of course, hindi magiging okay yung movement ni Axie Infinity. So, right now, this is Axie Infinity. We are actually seeing this consolidation for the Axie Infinity to Bitcoin price action. So, this would mean whatever Bitcoin is doing, Axie Infinity will just follow this price action kung ano ginagawa ni Bitcoin. So, ayan no, we are actually seeing those consolidation phase. So, this would be generally one of the best times to enter Axie Infinity when we are seeing Bitcoin consolidating and then pumping, consolidate, pumping. And then Axie Infinity to Bitcoin dominance, yung kanyang Bitcoin pairing niya. So as long as we are seeing this movement, itong somehow more of a ladder na movement. So this would be generally one of the best times to accumulate Axie Infinity during this area. So I think this is somehow getting that reaccumulation phase. And as long as Bitcoin is not going to dump, this would stay at this level. However, if Bitcoin decides to correct for the short term, which is dito, so let's say this corrected for the short term up until the, let's say 33K. If nag-correct si Bitcoin to the 33K, of course, Axie Infinity will go down. Pero ito yung kagandahan, meron tayong support ngayon for Axie Infinity, which is the $36 level. And our next resistance is actually the $42 level. But the question is, what's the highest price ngayon for Axie Infinity? So ngayon, ang next highest price natin for Axie Infinity is by getting this next Fibonacci retracement. So gawa tayo ng bagong Fibonacci retracement. So this is now the next Fibonacci retracement for Axie Infinity. And then let's add siguro a horizontal line para lang makita natin yung previous support and resistance nila before we delete this. So this is Axie Infinity. Let's delete the previous Fibonacci. So ito na siya. So ito yung latest Fibonacci retracement natin kay Axie Infinity. So for this one, ang next foreseeable target natin for Axie Infinity, di ba sabi ko sa inyo previously is the $36. Now we met the $36. Ano ba yung next action niya? So ang next action ni SLP, if hindi natin masustain itong move, this might correct up until the the $38 area. So yun yung magiging strong support niya ngayon if magkaroon, let's say, ng dump si Bitcoin. Pero let's say, nag-pump si Bitcoin pa din patuloy-tuloy, then our next target would be this $52 level. So this would mean Axie Infinity can still go up to this level, which is the 27% of 53 US dollar level. So yeah, ito yung next target na foreseeable for Axie Infinity only if ma-break natin si itong latest resistance natin, which is 46 cents. So let's say nag-pump siya, if na-break natin yung 46 cents, then our next target would be the 53 cents, $53 area. So yeah, that's for Axie Infinity. And then if na-break natin si $38, of course, next target is the 36 US dollars. So yeah, if as long as Bitcoin nga is healthy, this would more likely follow Bitcoin. So now let's move on to next naman, which is which is the 4-hour time frame. Let's take a quick look naman with this 4-hour time frame. So for this 4-hour time frame, yun nga, we are still following this area. Let's hide the moving averages muna. So right now, we are actually following this downtrend, this falling channel. And right now, we are actually going to see na meron tayong resistance dito at this area. So yeah, let's take a quick look naman sa mga ibang request. VChain, sige, daan natin si VChain. So last quick look muna for Bitcoin. So for the Bitcoin price, yun nga, we have been following this for a long time na, and right now we are playing that one exactly. And so far, so good kay Bitcoin. We are on track, and sobrang tagal ko na sinasabi sa inyo na guys na ang laking halaga nitong RSI resistance na to. So ayan no. So if you're going to look at this in the daily time frame, ang ganda ng ating support. Ang ganda ng ating pag-breakout dito sa RSI resistance. So let's look at daily time frame. So ito oh, ang ganda ng movement natin dito. Na-break na natin yung RSI resistance, and then right now, yun nga, yung 50-day moving average ang ating next target. And ito rin pala yung gusto ko ipakita sa inyo guys. Kasi look at this. If you're going to follow the previous death cross in history, this death cross, ayan no. At if follow mo siya dito, you would actually see na ayan yung death cross, ayan yung death cross, we saw a downtrend, nagkaroon ng nagkaroon ng spike before the death cross, ay nagkaroon na tayo ng spike, ng pump. And then, now let's follow this next pattern. So let's try to put a pattern dito, a bar pattern, and i-follow natin yung previous movement niya. So if lalagyan natin siya dito and i-follow natin yung previous death cross, ito, you would actually see na it, it it's almost aligned with how the previous death cross moved. And if you're going to look at this at the weekly time frame, you would actually see na this movement is actually almost exactly following the previous death cross. So this would mean na it could more likely follow this red line, and that's actually a good area to watch out for talaga. Kasi yun nga, matagal natin siya hindi pa na-break, and ever since nga noon, ito yung nagiging strong support natin for this Bitcoin price. So yeah, let's look at VChain naman. So for VChain, let's look at that. So of course, lahat sila dependent pa din kay Bitcoin price action. So for VChain, let's look at the moving averages. So right now, hindi pa tayo bullish kay VChain kasi ang kailangan ngayon ni VChain ma-break muna is yung 200 moving average. And sa ngayon, we are still pretty bearish pa din for VChain. In order to flip bullish for VChain, kailangan natin ma-break itong level. Kasi itong resistance na to, if you're going to look back, itong 4-hour time frame, itong purple line, in a bull market, dyan tayo nag-hold as support at kailangan natin masustain yung level na yan during a bull market, which is itong purple line. So ngayon, we are still below this purple line, so we are still pretty bearish pa din for VChain. So in order to flip bullish for VChain, kailangan niya muna ma-break itong purple line. But yeah, I personally believe, since kung titignan mo sa daily time frame, and this is below the 200 moving average sa daily time frame, whenever we are below the 200 moving average, that would be generally the best time to buy. Kasi tinan mo to, the only time na we were below the 200 moving average kay VChain was this area. And if you can see, every time na we are below, this would be generally one of the best time to enter VChain. Kasi ayan no, this would indicate that this is a good buy signal for VChain. Kasi of course, this would mean na we are very oversold or somehow oversold. Kasi kung titingnan mo to, this was already at the oversold area kay RSI. Same goes dito, pumasok tayo sa oversold area niya. And then if you're going to look at today naman, we are actually now at the oversold area for VChain. So this would mean na VChain is now very oversold at kailangan niya ngayon somehow ng buying pressure and somehow ma-break niya din dapat yung strong resistance na in order to flip bullish na for VChain. So yeah, ayun guys. So kailangan niya ma-break itong purple line. So yeah, that's VChain for the short term and long term. How would you play Bitcoin for the following charts, for the following days, sir? So for the following days, the way how I will play Bitcoin is actually more on my hodl position. So as what I've been telling you, ever since the day of this correction, ever since na nag-correct si Bitcoin, let's just remove this muna. So ever since na nag-correct si Bitcoin, which is this one, ever since nyan, I have been actually accumulating and I've been buying more Bitcoin. So buy lang ako ng buy every time na siguro makuha ako ng money, mag-enter ako ng bagong Bitcoin hodl position, and then actually ito yung area na mag-stake ako. So in the following days, since nakapag-accumulate na ako ng Bitcoin, ang next target ko ngayon is mag-stake ng aking hodl position. So meron ako ngayon hodl position for Bitcoin, may hodl position for Ethereum, Cardano. So ang goal ko dun ngayon is paano ko ba papalakihin yung money ko with my hodl position. So, in order to do that, papasok ako ng staking and then yun nga, papakita ko sa inyo yung way of staking ko in the following days. But yeah, ito yung magiging next target ko which is I would accumulate more dito. And then meron din akong short term na trade na siguro 10, wala pang 5% ng aking portfolio yung pang short term trade ko. So doon ako mag-futures and then I would buy off from the pump and dump areas. Pero ayun, if you're going to ask me how will I play this, ang magiging action ko dito is ililipat ko yung hodl position ko ngayon sa staking and then yung mga short term siguro around 5% lang na aking position ko yung ilalaro ko dito. But yeah, magbibigay pa din naman ako updates regarding this short term price action as always naman. Just like ito, nakita natin yung mga movement niyan at nagpe-play tayo dyan sa mga movements exactly ever since. And so far, I believe na nakuha natin pa lahat ng price actions ever since nung correction. So, nakukuha natin yung double bottom, no sell, no sell volume, nakuha din natin yung symmetric triangle, no sell volume, nakita din natin yung rebound niya. So far, accurate pa lahat ng ating price action. And yeah, wala pa tayong ikaka-worry. So, yung short-term trades, I personally prefer na yung mga short-term trades is wag nyo masyadong lakihan yung mga short-term trades nyo. Kasi ngayon actually is yung best time na mag-buy more into Bitcoin. Kasi, of course, since we are in this bearish area, this would more likely be the best time to accumulate. So, you should put most of your portfolio into your hodl position kesa sa short-term trades. Yun yung opinion ko for me. Ano ba ang tamang paglagay ng trend line? Sa close candle ba or sa end of the week? It actually depends on your preferences. Pero ako prefer ko is sa candle to candle. May iba kasi applicable siya sa wick. So kung yari ito, meron tayong rising channel. So this rising channel would implicate na meron tayong bounces from here. Pero since ang fina-follow ko is wick is candle to candle, makita mo na dinidisregard natin yon and then nilagay ko yung trend line ko dito sa exact candle closes. Mas prefer ko yung ganun kasi mas accurate yung kanyang bounces off at saka yung itsura ng chart. So, ako mas prefer ko yung bounces sa yung trend line nakalagay sa kanyang candle. Oversupplied? You mean overbought? Overbought pa ba si SLP? Right now, hindi siya overbought. So, kung titingnan mo, SLP is neither overbought nor oversold. So, somehow, if mag-enter ka na SLP, It's actually also a good time kasi tinan mo yung kanyang RSI, hindi siya overbought at wala namang indication na hindi naman malulugi. Let's say na wala namang indication na hindi siya healthy ngayon. Kasi ang ganda din ng consolidation niya ngayon. And then look at this moving average. Yung kanyang 100 moving average is starting to catch up, which is good actually kasi the more na nakakapaghabol yung ating moving average, dun tayo more likely makakuha ng kanyang somehow ng pump. So yeah, as long as we are going to catch up with this 100 moving average, I think healthy pa din naman siya. Hi sir, please do check BNB, USDT and BNB BTC pairing. What are your thoughts on BNB? Sige, so let's dive into BNB naman. So for BNB, ang previous analysis natin for BNB is actually itong opportunity na nakita natin, which is this rising wedge. And we broke out from this rising wedge exactly as predicted. And then Bitcoin dumped. Nakita natin yung dump by Bitcoin. And then nagkaroon ng bullish divergence kay Bitcoin during this time. And then of course, ang latest price action natin kay BNB, nagkaroon tayo ng rising wedge. So after that rising wedge, we broke down to this rising wedge. So ngayon, ano ba yung next movement kay BNB? So ito yung gusto ko ipakita sa inyo na pwede nating comparison. So let's move on to an Ethereum to USD chart. So this is the Ethereum to USD chart. Let's use the weekly time frame. And then i-compare natin si BNB to Ethereum. Kasi one thing's for sure, if makikita mo si BNB, oops, hindi maganda tong chart na to. Palitan natin yung BNB. Crypto cap. So ito si BNB. Si BNB, nire-replicate na yung previous action ni Ethereum. So, if you are going to follow the previous price action Ethereum, this would mean na, tingnan nyo to guys. Noong time na nag-start si Ethereum, ang kanyang peak was the $18 area. Which is, ganun din nangyari kay BNB. Siya, $18 area din yung naging peak ni BNB. Ngayon, ang local top ni previously ni Ethereum was this $334 area. So, BNB nagstay siya right now is within the $300 area. So, ano ba yung long-term projection natin kay BNB? So, the long-term projection for BNB is actually this next Ethereum price action. Kasi one thing, if history is an indication, BNB is actually replicating the milestones of Ethereum. So, if that's the case, then we could actually see BNB go for this bull market up until the 1.4K area. So, ang projection natin ngayon kay BNB is would more likely be around the 1.4K for this bull market. So, of course, hindi naman siya natin makikita kagad kasi syempre mahaba-haba pa yung bull market. Pero yeah, ang next target natin, major milestone natin for BNB is actually this 1.4K level. May mga iba pa bang milestone to watch out for? Yep, meron din. And that's actually this $700, $778 area for BNB na kailangan i-watch out for. So, ayan guys, if one thing for sure, pina-follow lang ni BNB si Ethereum yung kanyang previous price action. So ayan si BNB. So ayan, same na same sila sa kanyang previous price action. Thanks Diwata sa lupa. Ang ganda ng name mo for the donation. So yeah, that's for BNB. So ba't po si SLP nababa pero si Ethereum tuloy-tuloy ang pagtaas? Actually, nababa din ngayon si Ethereum. Ayan no. Bumababa din si Ethereum ngayon kaya nakita tayo ng drop din kay SLP. However, on top ng bearish movement ni Ethereum for the short term, mapapansin mo din kasi actually na meron din tayong resistance kay SLP. Ito yung strong resistance natin which is yung Fibonacci level of 34 cents. So kaya tayo nakita ng rejection kay SLP is because of this strong rejection dito sa ating Fibonacci area. So right now, ang next support natin kay SLP would be this 28 cents area. So kung magkakaroon man lang tayo ng bounce, I think this red line, which is the 100 moving average in the hourly, would be a good area for SLP to receive some bounces. Matic, sir. Sige, let's look at Matic. So Matic. Actually, na-close ko pala yung chart, no? Balik ko ngayon chart lang. So, spot system. Wait lang guys, na-exit ko yung chart natin. So let's look at Matic. So for Matic, ang previous analysis natin dito was this 200 moving average. So tingnan nyo to guys, ang ganda ng bounce natin kay Matic. So as for Matic, ang kailangan nyo intindihin is meron din tayong 200 moving average. And actually, healthy pa din si price action ni Matic kasi as long as we are above the 200-day moving average, this would indicate na we are still healthy pa for the long term. Kasi tingnan mo, if you're going to look back in time, the only time na nasa 200 moving average tayo was actually, let's go back dito, nung time na nagka-consolidation tayo. And we have never been below this area na 100-day moving average. So right now, andito tayo below the 100-day moving average. So ayan no. So this would mean, this would be one of the best times then to enter Matic for the long term. So ayan no. Ang ganda ng bounce natin dyan. And then, tingin ko this would more likely get rejected at the 100 moving average once na-reach natin yan. Pero, if you're going to look naman sa 20, yun din kasi yung nagde-decide sa kanyang price ngayon. So, if hindi natin na-sustain itong 20-day moving average, you might still see as Matic get rejected and go back to the 200-day moving average, which is around 70 cents. So, kung hindi natin to ma-sustain, 70 cents would be our next target for Matic. So yeah, I think that's it for Matic. For the short term, sige, let's try to check for the short term. So for the short term, ito yung meron tayong actually somehow na increasing price. So an increasing price and then declining RSI, which would mean a bearish move for Matic. So kung nag-dump to, this would more likely go to 50. Kung hindi natin sustain tong 50 moving average, then I believe Matic could go down to this 100 moving average in the hourly. Though in the hourly, bullish na siya sa hourly. So this is a good sign for Matic somehow sa kanyang shorter time frame. So this would mean na we might see a good level for Matic. But yeah, do know na meron tayong nagpo-form na bearish divergence. And a level to watch out for is the 50 moving average. Kasi kung na-drop natin yan, by the time bumagsak kay Matic for around 80 cents, roughly that area. So ano kinaiba ng pinakaibahan ng moving average as at SMA? Actually, hindi ko siya ginagamit so no idea ako sa SMA. Possible ba daw ang $1 Matic very soon? I believe possible pa din naman siya. Kasi kung titingnan mo to, $1 is not away for, it's not very far away for Matic. $1 is just merely, tingnan natin yung kanyang level. So $1 is just merely around ilang percent? 10% lang naman siya ng pump. So yeah, very possible pa din yung $1. So tingin ko hindi mo naman dapat masyado ika-worry yun kasi kaya pa naman siya umabot doon. Anyway, let's go back to Bitcoin. Tingnan natin yung kanyang latest price action. And then, we are actually playing Bitcoin exactly kung ano yung sinabi natin kanina, 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame, sabi natin na meron tayong bearish divergence. So, I know, increasing price and then declining RSI. And then, yeah, target would be this 33.5K. And if the break that, and let's say magkaroon tayo ng rebound dyan, I think sa daily time frame na yung magiging closest thing na pwede natin i-compare. Kasi kung titingnan mo, this is actually the 20-day moving average eh. 20-day and 50-day. Dun more likely magpa-bounce off yung price action natin sa 20 and 50-day moving average. Pero yeah, in the early, mukhang yun nga overbought. So we are getting that correction. So yeah, 20 moving average on target ngayon natin for Bitcoin price, for the Bitcoin price. Hope you can make a quick TA for XRP. Okay, let's take a quick look naman kay XRP. Kinulose ko lang yung mga hindi ko ginagamit. And then yeah, for XRP, of course, dependent din kay Bitcoin. Sinasabi ko lahat sa inyo, dependent kay Bitcoin. So kailangan nyo tandaan yun. XRP, for the shorter time frame, let's try to look at this increasing price action. And then, yeah, this is pretty much the same din. Meron din tayong bearish divergence to form kay XRP. 20, so 20 moving average would be the target for this. And yeah, right now bullish tayo for XRP in the shorter time frame. Pero kailangan niya ngayon masustain itong 200 moving average. Kasi kung titingnan mo previously, yung 200 moving average, every time na nasa above tayo ng 200 moving average, you are actually getting rejected by this moving average. So, the next thing na kailangan mangyari kay XRP ngayon is it must sustain the 200 moving average in the hourly. Kasi kung hindi niya masustain yun, then, yun nga, magkakaroon din tayo ulit ng dump ulit for XRP. So, ngayon ang kailangan ngayon mangyari kay XRP is it must sustain this 200 moving average. SLP na TA ko na siya so you can scroll back to this video. Anyway, let's end this live in a few minutes since napasadahan naman natin almost all for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, SLP, and Axie Infinity. So yun, nag-play tayo exactly for Bitcoin. Actually, nahit na natin yung target natin ngayon kay Bitcoin, which is this 33.5K area. So yun, nahit na natin siya. And let's see kung ano yung magiging movement niya. Pero 'di ba sabi ko dito, kung follow niyo yung fractal pattern niya, which is ito, bar pattern niya. So ito yung bar pattern, and then lagyan natin siya dito. So kung follow natin yung play out tayo dun, halos pretty much the same. So if that's the case, then would this be possible for a 34.1K? Who knows? Pero ako, hindi ako masyado dependent masyado sa fractal pattern. However, at least ang kagandahan niyan, it gives us an idea kung ano yung kanyang next price action. Idea lang naman, so hindi siya exact na technical analysis talaga. And guys, if you want to get a free Ethereum, you could actually join our free Ethereum giveaway. Link is in the description below. So kung gusto niyo sumali guys, sali lang kayo. Crypto Blade? Saan ba may Crypto Blade? Saang token ba saang exchange ba si Crypto Blade? Hindi kasi ako familiar kay Crypto Blade eh. So, yeah, I think, ayan guys, kung gusto niyo din sumali sa ating Discord, Facebook, and Telegram group, link is in the description below. So kung gusto niyo sumali guys, sali lang kayo. And if you want to see more contents like this, please subscribe for more. May daily technical analysis tayo for this one. Skill. Sige, let's try to check skill. Tingnan lang natin kung ano siya dito. Saan ba siya? Crypto Blade. Not sure eh, pero hindi ko mahanap yung kanyang. Yeah, hindi ko. Yeah, wala pa kasi siya sa Binance eh. So, hindi ko pa siya masabi. So, yeah, hindi. Siguro next time, hanapin ko si Crypto Blade para sa inyo. Are you from the Philippines? Yup. And yeah, for Bitcoin, ayun, somehow, pretty much, it still follows the same price action pa din. Let's go back to the Bitcoin bigger time frame. Let's go back. Before we end this video, since, yeah. So far, healthy pa din si Bitcoin ngayon. We are still getting off from this strong bounce at this red line. This red line is actually has been the support for Bitcoin price for the long term. At ito yung nagsasabi kung nasa bull market tayo. So right now, we are still above the red line. So far, so good pa din tayo kay Bitcoin. Gusto nyo ba na isa pang comparison na to? So let's compare one more. Makaka-effect po ba ang price action day due to weekend FUD? I don't think so. Matagal, ang tagal-tagal natin sa, ay, di ko alam kung ano, Common misconception kasi na every weekend daw yung dump. I don't think that's true. Kasi kung nag-start lang naman yung weekend dump noong April, pero if you're going to look days before pa, months before, prior to the weekend dump, nung weekend dati, nung every weekend, ang problema dati ni Bitcoin is lagi nagpa-pump during the weekend, which is nagka-cause ng CME gap. So, nung time nangyayari yon, nagiging big problem noon kay Bitcoin is, hala, mag-weekend sana hindi magpa-pump sa weekends at sana mag-pump sa weekday. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng CME gap, usually bigla siyang bumabagsak. Bumabagsak siya during the weekday. So, hindi ako masyado naniniwala na every weekend yung dump. Nagkataon lang na more often this time na puro dump yung weekend. Ngayon lang nangyari yun eh. Pero kung susundan nyo dati, hindi naman siya ganun talaga. Sige, let's look at sand. Let's take a quick look naman kay sand muna. So, for sand, actually bullish tayo ngayon kay sand, no? So, for sand, let's look at the hourly time frame. I think yun yung mas accurate. So, for sand, of course, kung titingnan mo, overbought si sand. So, this would mean kailangan niya mag-correct to the 20 moving average. So, yeah, of course, this will more likely go down to the 20 moving average. And, yeah, if mm, can see kung may bearish divergence kasi this is pretty normal. Normal lang na overbought siya. So, possible na pag nag-reject siya dyan at bumalik sa 20 moving average, possible na mag-bounce si sand. Kasi wala tayong any indicators pa na this will more likely go down pa. MACD is also forming a bearish cross. Pero, since, ayun nga, bearish cross, and then, let's say, nag-catch up tayo sa 20 moving average, pwede din yan somehow mag-consolidate dyan. And then, kung nag-consolidate yun, of course, this 50 moving average can catch up. And kung nag-catch up yun, that would be a good move for sand. But yeah, relatively sand is bearish right now kasi of course bearish si Bitcoin. Bearish si Bitcoin for the very short term hindi in the long term. Kasi kung titingnan mo siya sa hourly, ayan o, downtrend tayo sa hourly niya. For the very short term lang. Mas baka may course ka sa crypto, sobrang solid mo mag-explain. Enroll agad ako kung meron ka, wag lang masyadong mahal. Hindi ako nagbibigay ng hindi ako nagpapabayad ng crypto lessons or in general, hindi ako sisingil ng money for any crypto lessons. Pero if you want to learn crypto, yung mga basics sa crypto, kung anong ginagamit ko analysis, meron actually playlist dyan sa description down below, which is yung Gabs Crypto 101 playlist. So if you want to learn yung technical analysis na ginagamit ko, meron akong playlist dyan. It's all for free. So kung gusto niya siya i-follow, you can just click that yung description, yung link niya in the description. And then makikita nyo yung mga moving averages, mga Fibonacci, lahat-lahat yun kung paano ko ginagamit sa aking daily technical analysis. Anyway, let's end this video since I think this would more likely just follow this. Yung next TA talaga natin dito is the 33.5K. If makakuha tayo dyan ng bounce, of course, this would more likely move sideways dito. Or if finalo natin yung fractal pattern na yun, then yeah, around 34.2K, 34.1K would be a possible level if na-follow natin yung fractal and bar pattern na to. However, ang kailangan nyo talaga tingnan dito is this 20 moving average in the hourly. Kasi dyan yung kailangan mag-catch up ni Bitcoin in order to stay healthy. So, this might possibly consolidate kasi ang pinakang closest thing na pwede natin alamin ngayon is Bitcoin is overbought in the shorter time frame. So, that's why it must somehow get somehow consolidation or pahinga muna from this pump. Kasi of course, mahirap na palagi nagpa-pump ito. Kung lagi nagpa-pump, edi I think that's unsustainable. The more na mas nagpo-pump ang coin, the more na mas malakas ang kanyang dump. And ilang beses natin nakita yon sa ating Bitcoin price in the past few days. And actually, in the past few weeks kasi tingnan mo, buksan natin yung kanyang, i-hide natin yung mga kanyang movement. The more na mas malakas yung pump, the more na dire-diretso yung pump, the more na magde-decline tayo. So we have seen that multiple times, which is first ito, ito, ito. So, ang mas maganda mangyari kay Bitcoin is dapat magkaroon siya ng gradual pump, gradual pump, gradual dump, ganyan lang. Kaysa sa isang bagsakan na pump, mas malakas ang kanyang decline. So, yeah, I believe na dapat kahit papaano yung price ni Bitcoin is not very strong sa kanyang pag-pump para sustainable yung kanyang movement for somehow in the midterm, short term, and long term. Anyway, let's end this video now, and thanks guys for watching. If you find this video useful, please give this video a like, and if you want to see more contents like this, please subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video, and bye bye for now.